Why can't I understand fast English? Hey everyone, have you ever had this moment? You're watching a movie. You understand the scene. You know the vocabulary. But suddenly, someone speaks fast, and it feels like the whole sentence disappears. You pause. You rewind. You turn on subtitles. Still, it's a blur. You think, wait, I know this word, so why didn't I catch it? If you've ever asked that question, this podcast is for you. In today's episode, we're diving deep into one of the biggest challenges English learners face: how to understand fast native English speakers. In this episode, I'll guide you through a step-by-step training journey to help you catch fast conversations without subtitles, understand how real English sounds, and speak more naturally with the rhythm of native speakers. This isn't a quick tip video, it's a complete guide. We'll move through several powerful sections together, each focused on one key technique. By the end of this episode, you'll feel a real shift in your listening confidence. So grab a notebook or just sit back and listen. This is your masterclass on understanding fast, natural English. Let's begin. Section 1. The truth about fast English. So, why does fast English feel so overwhelming, even for learners who've been studying for years? Here's the truth. It's not about how many words you know. It's about how those words sound in the real world. See, native English isn't slow and spaced out like a textbook. We speak in a rhythm. We connect words, drop sounds, blend phrases, because it's natural, efficient, and emotional. So even if a sentence like, "I am going to go to the store," is easy to understand on paper, when a native speaker says, "I'm gonna go the store," it suddenly feels like a different language. That's where the confusion starts. But once you know what to listen for, and more importantly, how to train your brain to recognize these sounds, everything changes. So let's break it down. Let's start with a core concept that fluent listeners rely on, even if they don't realize it. Chunking. Your brain hears what it expects. Here's one of the most important mindset shifts I've taught over the years. And once you get this, fast English starts making a lot more sense. The brain doesn't hear what it's not expecting. When your brain is trained to expect textbook English, like, "I am going to go to the store," and then a native speaker casually says, "I'm gonna go the store," your brain might freeze, even if you know all those words. That's not your fault. That's how the brain works. It listens for patterns, familiar shapes, rhythms. If the sound is unexpected, it skips right over it. That's why the next skill I'm about to teach you, chunking, is such a game changer. Speak in blocks, not words. Let me give you an example. Think of this sentence. "What are you going to do now?" Now listen to how I'd say it to a friend. "What ya gonna do now?" Whatcha, gonna. It's one smooth, connected sound. A block, a chunk. Native speakers speak in chunks, not individual words. Think of them like Lego bricks. Each chunk is a single unit your brain has to recognize. Examples: "I'm gonna" equals "I am going to." "Give me a sec," "Give me a second." "Let me help you," "Let me help you." When you hear these patterns often enough, they stop sounding fast. They start sounding familiar. Technique number 1. Shadowing. Train like a native. Now here's a technique that rewires your brain to hear English like a native. It's called shadowing, and it's simple. Find a short native speaker audio clip, 30 to 60 seconds. Play one sentence, pause. Repeat it out loud with the same speed, rhythm, and emotion. Do it again and again. This is not about repeating perfectly. It's about training your mouth and ears to move at native speed. You're teaching your brain. This is what natural English sounds like. This is how it flows. At first, it feels hard. You'll stumble, miss words. But after a few sessions, something amazing happens. You stop hearing "I'm gonna go," and you start feeling it. You don't just translate, you anticipate. That's how fluency begins. Right now, I want you to try this. Pause this podcast. Say this sentence out loud 3 times. I'm gonna grab a bite. Not, I am going to grab a bite, but the fast, real version. I'm gonna grab a bite. Can you feel the rhythm? Can you feel the chunk? That's how we'll train your ears. One sentence, one chunk, one day at a time. All right, so now that you understand the power of chunking and how native English flows in blocks, let's take it one step further. Because here's what really makes English feel fast. It's not just the speed, it's the way words link together, the way sounds disappear, and how emotions change the tone of a sentence completely. In the next section, we'll go even deeper. You'll learn why linking sounds make English feel fast, how reductions like gotta and dunno work, and how to use movies and real dialogues to train your brain to keep up. But for now, here's your takeaway. You don't need more grammar. You need pattern recognition. You need practice that matches real life. And that's what we're going to build together. Section 2. Now let's train your ears. Welcome back. In the last section, we talked about why fast English feels overwhelming, the power of chunking, and how to use the shadowing technique to train your ears and tongue. Now, let's dive deeper. Why it all sounds like a blur. It's all about linking sounds. Imagine this. You hear someone say, "I'm gonna go to the store." But what your brain catches is, "am gonna gotta the store." Wait, what just happened? Well, let me tell you, that's not a broken sentence. That's perfect native English. What's going on here is called connected speech, where words flow into each other, and the lines between them disappear. Let me slow it down. I am going to becomes I'm gonna. Go to the becomes go dova. The T turns soft. The store sounds like the store. Put it all together. I'm gonna go to the store. Your English teacher might cringe, but your ears need to celebrate, because this is how real people speak. Once you start noticing these reductions, you'll hear them everywhere, in conversations, movies, podcasts, even in songs. The best way to train your ears to catch them is simple. You've got to practice with real-life rhythm. So let's try something together. Quick test. Can you catch it? Let's do a quick test. I'll say a sentence naturally. You try to catch what I'm really saying. Ready? Gotta get out of here. Can you break that down? Here's what's happening. Got to is gotta. Get out of is get outta. Here stays the same. So the real sentence is, I've got to get out of here. But in fast, real English, it's 5 syllables. Gotta get out of here. That's the rhythm. That's the flow. That's what your ears need to get used to. See how different that sounded from what you're used to? It's not that the words are difficult. It's that they're delivered in a completely different rhythm than what most learners are taught. And that brings us to one of the biggest reasons people struggle with fast English. School English versus real English. Here's the hard truth. If you learned English in school, you probably learned the written version, the dictionary version, the perfect grammar version. But when you step into a real conversation, it's like stepping into a song. There's rhythm, emotion, speed, and shortcuts. Imagine trying to learn to dance by reading about it in a textbook. You'd get the steps, but you'd miss the groove. That's the gap we're closing in this podcast. Technique number 2, echo practice. Stay on the beat. In section 1, we explored shadowing, where you repeat native speech after short pauses. Now, let's level up with a variation. Echo repetition. Here's how it works. Play a sentence from a movie or audio clip. Don't pause. Just echo what you hear immediately after the speaker finishes. Try to match their tone, rhythm, and energy. For example, listen to this sentence. I can't believe you did that. You echo, I can't believe you did that. Yes. It will feel like your brain is jogging after a train. But with practice, you'll keep up. And over time, your brain will predict the rhythms, not just chase them. That's fluency. Once your ears start picking up those rhythms, you'll notice something else too. It's not just how native speakers say things, it's what they leave out, shorten, or mash together. So let's dig into one of the biggest reasons fast English sounds so different from the English you've studied. Gonna, dunno, lemme, learn the shortcuts. Let's go deeper into the core of fast English, reduction. Reduction means we shrink or blend words to make speech smoother and faster. Here are 5 of the most common reductions. Gonna, going to. I'm gonna call him later. Wanna, want to. Do you wanna come with us? Gotta, have got to. I gotta finish this tonight. Lemme, let me. Let me show you something. Dunno, don't know. I don't know what happened. Now here's what I want you to do. Say them with me. I'm gonna call her. I wanna learn more. I gotta go. Let me try. I don't know, man. Nice. That's real English. Let me tell you about an English learner named Arjun. Arjun moved to Canada last year. He was confident, fluent even. But then, real life started. He couldn't understand his coworkers. Not because his English was bad, but because their English was fast. Every day he came home frustrated, defeated. Until one day he changed something. Instead of trying to hear every word, he started listening for patterns. He listened to real conversations, paused, repeated, and copied the rhythm, not just the words. He sent me a message 2 months later. Leo, today I had a meeting, and I understood everything. I didn't translate, I didn't guess. I just got it. That's what's possible when you train the right way. That kind of result doesn't happen by luck. It happens through consistent, focused practice, the right kind of practice. So if you're ready to train like that, here's something you can start doing today. Your first real practice drill. Here's your next challenge. It's called the 30-second breakdown. Pick a short 30-second video with native speakers. Play it once, no subtitles. Try to write down everything you hear. Then watch again, with subtitles. Compare. Where did you miss something? Why? Say the lines out loud. Mimic the sounds. This builds awareness, and awareness builds fluency. That's it for section 2. In the next section, we'll explore why your mindset and confidence matter more than you think, the power of visualization in fast English listening, and how to decode emotions and tone in real-time conversations. Section 3. Think, feel, understand. Welcome back. This is Section 3 of our podcast series on understanding fast native English speakers. And if you've made it this far, let me tell you something. You're already different. Most learners stop when English feels fast or hard. But you're leaning in. You're training your brain, bit by bit, to handle the real thing. The fast, messy, emotional, musical version of English we speak every day. And in this section, we're adding 3 powerful tools to your listening toolbox: confidence and mindset, why fear blocks understanding, visualization, how seeing helps your ears, emotional listening, catching meaning through tone and energy. Let's get into it. Why fear blocks listening. Let me start with a moment from my own life. Years ago, I visited Brazil. I'd studied Portuguese. I could write full essays, but when I arrived, I couldn't follow a single conversation at the airport. The sounds blurred. People laughed, interrupted, changed topics, and I froze. Not because I didn't know the language, but because I was scared to miss something, scared to look foolish, scared to speak and get laughed at. And that fear, that tightness in the chest, became a wall between me and the language. Sound familiar? If you're tense, if you're nervous, if you're panicking while listening, your brain can't focus. And if your brain can't focus, it won't process what it hears, no matter how smart you are. That's why one of the most important things you can do, especially when listening to fast English, is this: stay calm. Not perfect, not fast, just calm. Give yourself permission to miss a few words. You don't need to catch everything. Your goal isn't perfection, it's progress, one sentence at a time. And one of the best ways to make that progress, especially when the words are flying by, is to stop focusing on every word and start picturing what you hear. Because here's something most learners don't realize. Technique number 3, visualize what you hear. Now here's a strange truth most people don't realize. The best listeners are also visual thinkers. Let me explain. If I say, we grabbed a coffee and headed downtown, your brain can do 2 things. It can try to process each word like a computer, or it can visualize 2 people walking into a coffee shop, holding cups, strolling through the city. That second option, that's what native speakers do. We don't decode words, we imagine scenes. So when you listen to fast English, don't ask, what does each word mean? Ask, what's the picture here? Let's try. Close your eyes. Listen carefully as I say this. She ran out of the house, jumped into her car, and drove off without saying a word. Did you see it? If so, congratulations. You just understood native English the way natives do. This technique is called imaginative listening, and it works beautifully with fast speech. You don't need to catch every sound. You just need to follow the movie in your mind. So once you start seeing English like a movie in your mind, the next level is feeling it. Because sometimes it's not the words that tell you what someone means. It's how they say them. Feel what they really mean. Let's go one step deeper, because here's another secret. You don't need to hear every word to understand the emotion. Tone, stress, rhythm, they carry more meaning than vocabulary. Think about these 2 sentences. I didn't say you stole the money. I didn't say you stole the money. Same words, totally different intentions. or this. Oh, that's great. Depending on the tone, it can mean, I'm happy for you, or I'm annoyed and pretending to be polite. So as you train your ears, don't just focus on words. Listen for pitch. Did their voice go up or down? Stress. Which word is loudest? Emotion. Do they sound excited, sad, sarcastic? Fast English is like music. And just like music, the feeling is often more important than the lyrics. Let me show you. I'll say a line 3 ways. You tell me the emotion behind each one. I can't believe it. Flat, soft tone. I can't believe it. Loud, high pitch. I can't believe it. Slow, thoughtful tone. What did you hear? Surprise? Frustration? Shock? Sarcasm? The meaning changed without changing the words. This is emotional fluency, and it's just as important as grammar. Once you start noticing those emotional shifts, the stress, the tone, the intention, your understanding becomes way more intuitive. And to sharpen that skill even more, here's a simple technique I recommend all the time. Train with faces, then with feelings. Here's a technique you can try today. I call it split listening. Watch a YouTube video with native speakers, ideally something conversational. First, watch with video. Observe their faces, gestures, emotions. Then, listen again with your eyes closed. Try to see the emotions through tone only. This trains your ears to recognize emotional meaning, even when the words fly by. It's a superpower, and with practice, it becomes automatic. Let me tell you about Jorge, one of my students from Spain. He messaged me a few months ago. He said, Leo, I can't keep up in meetings. Everyone's too fast. I feel dumb. I gave him just 2 pieces of advice. Start visualizing what you hear, like a scene. Start listening for tone, not just words. 2 weeks later, he wrote again. Leo, I don't catch every word, but now I follow conversations. I understand the mood. I get the flow. I'm in it. That's the win we're after. Let's wrap this up. Here's your practice challenge for today. Pick a 30-second dialogue from a movie or podcast. First, imagine the scene. What's happening? Who's talking? Then, listen again and focus only on tone. Don't write. Don't pause. Just follow the feeling. You'll be amazed at how much you understand, even without perfect hearing. And next time someone says, you didn't catch that? You can smile and say, no, but I felt it. And trust me, that's more than enough. This was Section 3 of our podcast series, How to Understand Fast Native English Speakers. In Section 4, we'll explore dictation practice, the ultimate listening workout, accent training, how to handle different English sounds, how chunking and rhythm unlock long sentences. You're doing amazing. I'll see you in the next one. Section 4, Level Up. High performance listening. In the last sections, we've already covered a lot. How to train your ears using chunking and shadowing. Why calm focus beats panic when listening to fast speech. How visualization and emotion help you decode meaning. And how listening for tone can tell you more than the words themselves. If you've been following along, you're no longer a beginner. You're training like a real communicator. And now in this section, we're stepping into high-performance listening. 3 powerful techniques. Dictation practice, the ultimate listening workout. Accent exposure, how to survive and thrive in a world of English accents. Rhythm and chunking, your new secret weapon for long, fast sentences. Ready? Technique number 4. Dictation practice, the workout for your ears. Let's start with something simple but powerful. It's called dictation. And it's not just for kids. It's a listening exercise used by elite language learners around the world. Here's how it works. Choose a short audio clip, maybe 10 to 20 seconds, something spoken by a native speaker. Listen once. Try to catch the overall meaning. Now play it again, and try to write down exactly what you hear. Play it again and again, until you've written every word you can catch. Finally, check it against the real transcript or subtitles. Why does this work? Because it forces you to focus deeply on sounds, recognize reduced forms, identify words that disappear in fast speech. You'll discover words like shoulda, should have, oughta, out of, didya. And you'll stop saying, I didn't hear that. Instead, you'll say, now I know what that blur was. Here's a mini practice you can try with me. I should have told you earlier. Try writing it down. What did you hear? Most learners think it's, I should have told you earlier. But that's just how it sounds. The real sentence is, I should have told you earlier. Dictation teaches you to spot the difference between how words look and how they're spoken. And once your ears are trained to catch the way native English sounds, not just how it's written, there's one more layer you've got to prepare for. Because fast English doesn't come in just one accent. Different voices, one language. Let's face it, not all native English sounds the same. There's American English, British English, Australian English, Canadian, Irish, South African, and dozens of regional accents within each country. In New York, someone might say, I'm walking here. In Texas, y'all coming or what? In London, fancy a cuppa? If you only train with one accent, the rest will feel like a new language. But here's the truth. Your ears can adapt if you give them variety. So here's your next mission. Spend 10 minutes a day listening to different English voices. Search on YouTube, Australian street interviews, British reality TV clips, Irish podcasts, South African vloggers. And don't panic if you miss things at first. Just expose yourself. Let your brain tune in to the melody of different accents. In a few weeks, your brain will say, oh, I know this voice now. That's adaptation. And it's how you go from textbook fluent to world fluent. And once your ears get used to different accents, there's another skill that makes everything click even faster. It's the rhythm. Because when native speakers talk quickly, they're not rushing through individual words. They're moving through phrases. Let me show you what I mean. Find the beat in long sentences. Let me ask you a question. Which of these sounds faster? A. I am going to the store. Do you want to come with me? B. I'm going to go to the store. Want to come? Most learners hear version B and panic, but actually, it's simpler. It's one rhythmic chunk. Native English flows like music, short bursts, pauses, drops, rises. When you listen for rhythm, long sentences become predictable. Your ears follow the beat. Let's practice. We were supposed to meet at 7, but I got stuck in traffic, couldn't find parking, so I ended up being almost an hour late. Whoa, that's a long sentence. Now listen again. Feel the rhythm. We were supposed to meet at 7, but I got stuck in traffic. Couldn't find parking, so I ended up being almost an hour late. Each phrase is its own idea. Each idea is a chunk. And if you recognize the chunks, the speed won't overwhelm you anymore. Kiara, a student from Korea, used to panic during long lectures in English. She told me, "Leo, when a speaker talks for more than 10 seconds without stopping, I get lost." So we tried something new. I gave her a TED Talk and asked her to do one thing: break every long sentence into chunks. Find the rhythm. Listen like it's a song. She did it. 3 weeks later, she told me, "Now I don't freeze. I breathe. I catch the phrases. I get the idea. It's like I found the music in English." And that's what I want for you too. All right, now it's your turn to apply what we've covered. Here's a set of simple but powerful daily practice challenges to help you lock in everything we've talked about today. 3 mini challenges to train daily. Challenge 1. Dictation. Pick a 15-second audio clip. Write down exactly what you hear. Listen again and again. Check your answer with subtitles. Challenge 2. Accent variety. Choose a new accent each day for 5 minutes. Don't analyze, just listen. Let your brain adapt. Challenge 3. Rhythm reading. Find a long sentence. Break it into 4 to 5 chunks. Read it aloud with rhythm. Example: I thought you said we were leaving, but then you changed your mind, and now I don't know what to do. Feel the flow. Say it out loud. That wraps up this section. And if you've made it this far, you're already doing what most learners won't: staying in the game, even when it gets challenging. But we're not done yet. In the final section, we're going to bring everything together in a way that might just change the way you listen to English forever. Let's keep going. Section 5. Final stretch. Bring it all together. Welcome to the final section. You've made it to Section 5, and that means something. Most people quit when listening gets hard. But not you. You've shown up, episode after episode, building real listening power, training your brain, and learning the real techniques fluent speakers use every day. In this section, we'll bring everything together, and I'll show you how to combine shadowing and emotion, a method called the 1-minute rewind, and finally, how to build your own daily listening system that keeps you improving, even when I'm not in your ears. Let's go. Feel the rhythm. Speak the feeling. You already know about shadowing, repeating after a native speaker with the same speed, tone, and rhythm. Now we're adding a new ingredient: emotion. Because fluent English isn't just about words, it's about feeling. Here's what I want you to try. Pick a clip with strong emotion, excitement, anger, sarcasm, joy. Listen carefully, not just to the words, but how the words are said. Shadow the line with emotion. Let's practice with a few examples. I'll say a sentence in 3 ways. Repeat each one after me with the same emotion. Excited. You won? That's amazing. Annoyed. Yeah, thanks for telling me after the meeting. Playful. Oh, look who finally showed up. Feel the difference? This kind of practice rewires your speaking and listening at the same time. You begin to anticipate the feeling, and your brain gets faster at recognizing tone shifts in real conversations. That's emotional fluency. So now you're catching not just the words, but the emotion behind them. Let's take that progress and turn it into something you can practice every single day in just 1 minute. The 1-minute fluency builder. Here's one of my favorite techniques, and it takes only 1 minute a day. It's called the 1-minute rewind. Here's how to do it. Pick a 1-minute video clip, something natural, not a teacher, not a narrator, a real native speaker talking casually. Watch it once with no subtitles. Try to catch the meaning. Rewind. This time, turn on subtitles and go line by line. Pause after each line and repeat it aloud, just like they said it. Rewind again. This time, repeat the entire minute without subtitles, like an actor practicing a scene. Why this works? It builds muscle memory in your mouth. It trains your ears to recognize fast, emotional English. It gives you one powerful repetition each day, which builds over time. Imagine doing this every day for a month. That's 30 real minutes of fluent English, internalized, spoken, felt, remembered. That's not a small step. That's transformation. And if 1 minute a day can do that, imagine what happens when you turn these tools into a daily habit, something simple, repeatable, and built for real life. Let me show you how. Your 20-minute daily habit. Now let's wrap everything into something simple, a daily routine you can follow forever. You don't need 5 hours a day. You need 20 focused minutes. That's it. Here's your daily listening system. 5 minutes, passive listening. Put on an English podcast or video while cooking, walking, or cleaning. No pressure, just exposure. 5 minutes, chunk practice. Choose 1 to 2 common phrases and say them out loud 10 times. Example, I'm gonna head out. You wanna come with? Let me grab my bag. Say it with rhythm. Feel it in your mouth. 5 minutes, 1 minute rewind. Pick a 1-minute native clip. Watch, rewind, repeat, shadow. 5 minutes, active visualization. Close your eyes. Listen to a short audio. Ask yourself, what's happening in this scene? What emotions do I hear? Can I see it in my mind? 20 minutes, that's all. But done daily, it trains your ears to handle any speed, any accent, any real conversation. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something that really stuck with me. A message from someone who put these exact strategies into action. Her name's Ada, and she's from Poland. This is what success sounds like. She wrote, "Leo, for years I thought something was wrong with me. I studied English for 10 years, but every time I watched a movie or joined a work call, I felt lost. I thought, why is everyone else faster than me? Then I found your podcast, and I realized I don't need to translate, I need to train. I stopped trying to understand every word. I started listening in chunks, watching body language, repeating with emotion. 2 weeks ago, I had my first real conversation with a native speaker. No subtitles, no script, and I understood every word. I cried after. Thank you. That message, that's why I make these lessons. Because the only thing between you and confident English is consistent practice with the right tools. So now you've got the tools, the mindset, and the practice. To make it even easier to remember, let's pull it all together one last time. Let's lock it in. 10 listening keys. Here's a quick recap of everything you've learned in this series. 1. Chunking. Break English into meaningful blocks. 2. Shadowing. Repeat speech with rhythm and tone. 3. Connected speech. Learn how words melt together. 4. Reductions. Gonna, wanna, lemme, and more. 5. Visualization. Picture the meaning while you listen. Emotion and tone. Understand feelings, not just words. Dictation practice. Write what you hear, word by word. Accent exposure. Train your ears for global English. Rhythm practice. Follow the musical flow of speech. 1-minute rewind. Small, focused daily practice. Every one of these techniques works, but only if you use them. So here's my last challenge for you. Record yourself speaking in English. Use 3 reduced phrases you've learned, like, I gotta go now. Wanna grab coffee? Let me check real quick. Don't write a script. Just talk. Feel the rhythm. Then listen to yourself and celebrate, because this is it. You're no longer a beginner. You're a real English communicator. You understand fast English. You hear it. You feel it. You speak it. Keep going. Keep practicing. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll walk into a fast, emotional, native-level conversation, and you'll understand everything. That's the moment we're working for. Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing in your potential. And thank you for letting me be part of your English journey.